My coworkers set me up with a deaf woman as a joke, until I made her smile and silenced them all. I used to think I knew the people I worked with. Every morning, I walked into the same office, greeted the same faces, drank coffee from the same machine, and listened to the same jokes. Some were harmless, some were annoying, but I never expected the people I spent 8 hours a day with to try and embarrass me. My name is Daniel, and I worked as a graphic designer at a small marketing company. I was quiet, focused, and probably the easiest person in the office to tease because I rarely fought back. That was exactly why my coworkers thought they could get away with it. "Daniel, you need a girlfriend," my coworker Mark said one afternoon, leaning against my desk. I looked up from my computer. "And you need a hobby." Everyone laughed. Mark smiled. "See, you're funny. You just hide it." "I'm not hiding anything. I'm working." "That's your problem," another coworker, Lisa, added. "You work too much. We're fixing your life." I rolled my eyes. "I'm scared already." They laughed again, but I didn't know they were actually planning something. A few days later, Mark walked over to me with a big smile. "Friday night. You're free." I raised an eyebrow. "That wasn't a question." "Nope. We're setting you up." "Absolutely not." "Too late." I shook my head. "Who is she?" Mark and Lisa exchanged a strange look. "What?" I asked. "Her name is Emily," Lisa said. "She's really nice." "Okay. And she's different." I noticed the way they said it. "Different how?" Mark tried not to laugh. "She's deaf." The way he said it bothered me. Not because Emily was deaf, but because I knew my coworkers. They weren't introducing me to someone because they thought we would connect. They were setting up a joke. I looked at them carefully. "Are you serious?" "Relax," Mark said. "It'll be fun." Fun for them, maybe. I almost refused. I almost told them exactly what I thought. But then I imagined Emily sitting there, unaware that a group of people were laughing at the idea of her. And something inside me changed. "Fine," I said. Mark smiled. "Great. You'll thank us." I didn't tell him that I already knew I wouldn't. Friday night arrived. I walked into the small cafe where we were supposed to meet. I expected to see someone nervous, maybe uncomfortable. Instead, I saw a woman sitting near the window, reading a book. She had a calm expression, like she wasn't waiting for anyone's approval. I walked over. "Emily." She looked up. For a moment, we just smiled at each other. Then she picked up her phone and typed something. "Hi, I'm Emily. Sorry, I don't hear, but I can read lips a little and I usually communicate by writing or sign language." I smiled. "Hi, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you." She looked at my phone and smiled. Not a fake smile. A real one. We sat down. At first, I worried the conversation would be difficult. But after 5 minutes, I realized something. It wasn't difficult at all. People always focus on what someone cannot do. They forget to notice everything they can. Emily was funny. She was smart. She had a way of observing things that most people missed. She told me about her job as an artist. She painted portraits and created beautiful drawings of people. I asked her how she captured expressions so well. She wrote, "Faces tell stories. You don't need sound to understand someone." That sentence stayed with me. Because I realized she was seeing the world in a way I never had. Halfway through dinner, I received a message. It was from Mark. "So, is she weird?" Tears of joy. I stared at the screen. My jaw tightened. I showed Emily the message. I wasn't sure why I did. Maybe because I didn't want to hide anything from her. She read it. Her smile disappeared for a second. Then she typed, "Your coworkers did this as a joke." I nodded. I expected her to be angry. Instead, she looked down and wrote, "That's sad." Just 2 words. But they hit harder than any insult. Because she wasn't angry. She was disappointed. Not in me. In them. When I returned to work on Monday, everyone was waiting. Mark walked up first. "So." I put my bag down. "So what?" He laughed. "How was your date?" Lisa leaned closer. "Was it awkward?" The office became quiet. Everyone wanted to hear my answer. I looked at all of them. Then I said, "It was the best date I've had in years." The smiles disappeared. Mark blinked. "What?" I nodded. "Emily is amazing." No one laughed. I continued. "She's kind, intelligent, and more interesting than most people I know." Mark looked uncomfortable. "Daniel, we were just joking." I shook my head. No, you weren't joking with me. You were laughing at someone you never even met. The room went silent. Lisa looked down. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I just wanted them to understand. A person's difference is not a weakness. Their disrespect is. A few weeks passed. I kept seeing Emily. Our conversations got easier. I learned some sign language. She taught me how to communicate without always using words. One evening, we sat in a park watching the sunset. I signed slowly. I like spending time with you. She smiled. Then she signed back. You're getting better. I laughed. Really? She nodded. Then she wrote on her phone. Most people try to change what they don't understand. You tried to understand. I looked at her. That meant more than she knew. A month later, my company had a big event. Everyone was there. Employees, managers, clients. During the presentation, my boss asked me to introduce a special guest. I stepped onto the stage. And Emily walked beside me. People clapped. I looked at the crowd. Then I said, "Today, I want you to meet someone who taught me something important." I looked at Emily. She taught me that communication isn't just about hearing words. It's about listening with respect. The room was quiet. Then I continued. Some people thought meeting her was a joke. But they were wrong. The joke was thinking someone's difference made them less. I saw Mark sitting in the audience. He looked embarrassed. But he also looked like he finally understood. Emily smiled. That smile wasn't because I defended her. It was because she knew I respected her. Months later, Mark apologized. Not a quick apology. A real one. He admitted he had been immature. He told me meeting Emily changed the way he looked at people. And Emily. She became one of the most loved people at our office. Not because she was deaf. Because she was Emily. The talented artist. The kind person. The woman who taught a group of careless people a lesson without ever needing to raise her voice. And as for me, I learned that sometimes the people others underestimate are the ones who reveal the biggest truths. My coworkers tried to set me up with a deaf woman as a joke. But in the end, she was the one who opened everyone's eyes.